Jack was not an ordinary man. He was a trained explorer from Earth, sent to explore unknown planets. His job was dangerous but exciting. Every mission meant something new, but this mission was different. His leaders gave him a strange warning. Before he left, "Whatever happens, do not meet the alien queen. Stay away from her palace." Jack didn't understand why, but he agreed. He landed on the alien planet called Veltrax 9, a world covered in glowing forests, strange creatures, and giant stone cities. The air was heavy but breathable, and the sky was always dark purple. For days, Jack wandered the cities. The aliens were tall, with glowing blue skin and sharp eyes. They watched him but didn't speak much. Some seemed afraid, others curious. Jack's translator device helped him understand some conversations. He heard stories, whispers about a powerful queen who ruled them all. She lived in a palace made of black crystal. No outsider was ever allowed to see her. Many said she was beautiful but deadly. Jack's curiosity grew. He thought, why would my leaders tell me not to meet her? What are they hiding? One evening, under the violet sky, Jack stood on a high hill. In the distance, he saw the shining palace of black crystal. It called to him like a mystery waiting to be solved. Despite the warnings, he decided to go. "I'm an explorer. I can't turn away from this," he whispered to himself. He sneaked past the guards, using shadows and the quiet of the night. The palace was massive, the walls glowing faintly. The doors opened as if the palace itself knew he was coming. Inside, it was cold and silent. The floors shone like glass, reflecting the dim light from the walls. As he walked deeper, he heard footsteps, soft but firm. Then he saw her, but it wasn't the real queen. Standing before him was a woman, tall, graceful, with glowing blue skin and silver hair that flowed like water. Her eyes shone like stars. She wore a dark robe, and on her head was a small crown. Not as grand as he expected. She looked at him with curiosity, not anger. "You are human," she said softly. Her voice was like music. Jack nodded. "Yes, I mean no harm. I just wanted to see the queen." She laughed gently. "I am not the real queen. I am her clone. A copy made to protect her. But I am still me." Jack was surprised. "A clone? A living copy of the queen?" She stepped closer. "You are the first human I've seen. You look interesting. Brave to come here alone." Jack smiled nervously. "I didn't think I'd meet anyone, honestly." She studied him with her glowing eyes. "You are strange. Not like the males of my kind, weak but curious." There was no hate in her words, just observation. Then she said, "You should not be here. If the real queen finds you, she will destroy you, but She paused, looking at him differently. "Maybe I won't. Tell her, maybe I'll keep you here." For myself, Jack's heart raced. He didn't know if she was joking or serious. But her presence was hypnotic. She reached out, touching his face gently. Her skin was cool but soft. "You don't fear me?" she asked. Jack shook his head. "No, should I?" She smiled. "Most do, but you are bold." "I like that." Hours passed as they talked. She showed him parts of the palace, places no human had ever seen. She laughed at his questions, answered some, but always held back the deepest secrets. As the night grew long, something strange happened. The connection between them grew stronger. It was as if they understood each other without words. Jack felt pulled to her, and she seemed equally drawn to him. In the deep chambers of the palace, their bond became more than words. In a moment of weakness, curiosity, and something more, they crossed a line that no human and alien ever had before. By morning, Jack stood by her side, confused but amazed. She smiled, placing her hand on her stomach. "You've done something impossible, human," she whispered. "I carry your child now." Jack's eyes widened in shock, but before he could speak, she looked up. her face suddenly serious. She knows. Who? Jack asked. She stared at him, her eyes darkening. The real queen. She knows what we've done, and she will come for you. Jack's heart pounded. His forbidden mission had just turned into a deadly trap. Jack couldn't sleep. His mind was full of questions. How could this happen? How could an alien, a clone of the queen, carry his child? It didn't make sense. He was just a human explorer, not some hero of a space legend. But when he looked at her, standing calmly with her glowing eyes and silver hair, he knew it was real. She was different now. Her voice was softer. She smiled at him with warmth instead of curiosity. She said, "Human life mixes strangely with ours. No alien has ever done this with us before. You are special." Jack tried to understand, but the more she explained, the more questions he had. She called herself a clone, but she was alive with her own thoughts, feelings, and now, with his child inside her, still, something in the air felt heavy, like a shadow watching them. Suddenly, the air trembled. A low sound, like a hum deep inside the walls, started to grow. The clone's face turned pale. "She's awake," she whispered. "The real queen. She senses the change." Before Jack could ask anything, the clone grabbed his hand. "We must hide. If she sees you now, she will destroy you before you can even speak." She pulled him through secret halls inside the Crystal Palace. The walls glowed dimly, and Jack felt like the palace itself was alive, watching every step. They stopped in a small chamber filled with soft blue light. In the center was a round pool of glowing water. The clone looked at him seriously. "Listen carefully, Jack. The queen has a connection to me, a mental link. When my body changed because of you, she felt it. She's coming, and she won't. Be kind." Jack swallowed hard. "What do we do now?" "I can't fight her." The clone shook her head. "You can't fight her, but you can impress her." Jack frowned. "Impress her? How?" The clone's eyes glinted. "She is proud. She sees humans as weak, useless. But you've done something no alien could, created life with me. That will make her curious, even if she is angry." Jack didn't like the plan, but he had no choice. Then the clone stepped closer, her hand resting on his chest. "You changed me. Jack, I was just a copy, a shadow of the queen. But now, I feel alive, more than ever before. I don't want to lose that." Jack looked into her glowing eyes. She wasn't just an alien. She was someone. Before he could speak, the ground shook. The walls shimmered. A powerful voice echoed through the chamber. "Bring him to me." The clone froze. She turned to Jack. "It's her. She found us." Suddenly the chamber doors opened. Two tall alien guards, with silver spears and dark eyes, stood there. Behind them, the air seemed to twist. And then she appeared. The real queen. She was taller, darker, with deep violet skin and golden eyes that burned like suns. Her crown was larger, her robe flowing like living shadows. She stepped in with grace, but her eyes locked on Jack like a predator watching prey. The queen's voice was cold but curious. "So this is the human who dares touch my clone." Jack tried to speak, but his voice caught. The queen's power was suffocating. The clone stepped forward. "He is not your enemy. My queen. He is—" The queen raised her hand, silencing her clone. "You were made to protect my image, not to play with off-world creatures." Then her golden eyes turned to Jack again. "And you, human, why are you not on your knees? Are you not afraid of me?" Jack's heart pounded, but he remembered the clone's words. The queen was proud. If he showed fear, she'd kill him. So he stood tall and answered, "I don't kneel before strangers. I came here by mistake, but I'll stand like a man, even in front of a queen. Silence. Then. The queen smiled. It was not a kind smile, but one of amusement. Brave or foolish? No human has spoken to me like this before. Perhaps there is something about you." She walked closer, her eyes scanning him. "You touched my clone, and now she carries your child. Strange ... but interesting." She circled him like a lion circles its prey. "Perhaps ... I want to know more. Perhaps. I want to experience this. Human power myself." Jack's eyes widened. The Queen laughed softly. "What? You thought you could touch my image and not pay the price? You have a debt to me, human. A very personal debt." She leaned in closer, her golden eyes burning. "Tomorrow night, you will visit my chamber. There, you will show me why you are so ... special." The clone gasped, but said nothing. The Queen turned away, her voice echoing as she left. "If you are HFY, I'll take your life, and the clones as well. See you tomorrow, human." And just like that, the Queen vanished into the shadows, leaving Jack and the clone in the glowing chamber, stunned and terrified of what the next night would bring. The next morning, the palace felt different. The walls, once calm and glowing blue, now pulsed with red veins of energy. Servants moved quietly, heads low, avoiding eye contact. Even the guards, tall and proud, gripped their spears tighter. The entire palace was holding its breath. Jack could feel it in his bones. The Queen was preparing something. He sat in a hidden room with the clone, who now looked more anxious than ever. Her glowing hands gently touched her stomach, as if protecting the life growing inside. "She didn't kill us," Jack said quietly. "That's good, right?" The clone shook her head slowly. "The Queen never acts without reason. If she spared us, it means she's planning something bigger. Something we may not understand." Jack leaned back, running a hand through his hair. "So what now? I meet her tonight, try to survive, and what? Make her like me?" The clone looked into his eyes. "No, Jack, you must not just survive. You must impress her. If you done ... we're both dead. And so is our child." Before Jack could respond, a soft chime echoed through the palace. A voice followed, deep, female, and filled with authority. "The Queen requests the presence of her clone, alone." The clone stood up slowly. She looked at Jack with sadness in her eyes. "She never speaks to me directly, not like this. She knows I've changed." Jack reached for her hand. "Be careful." She nodded and left, the doors closing behind her. With a hiss, the clone walked through the glowing halls, each step echoing louder than the last. Guards didn't stop her. The palace seemed to open on its own, guiding her straight to the Queen's throne room, a massive chamber with no windows, only light from the living walls. The real Queen stood at the far end, her golden eyes glowing brighter than before. Her robe flowed like smoke, her presence like a storm ready to break. "You're late," the Queen said, voice sharp. The clone bowed. "Forgive me, my Queen." The Queen walked down the steps slowly, her gaze never leaving the clone's face. "You have feelings now," she said. The clone said nothing. "Emotions, attachments, a sense of ... identity. That wasn't part of your programming." Still, the clone remained quiet. The Queen circled her. "You've taken something that was never yours, a bond with a creature not of this world, a human." She stopped in front of the clone and said darkly, "And now you carry his child." The clone finally looked up. "I didn't plan for this, but it happened, and I won't deny it." For a moment, the Queen was silent. Then she laughed. "You speak like you're real, like you have a voice that matters." The clone's voice grew stronger. "I may be your copy, but I've become something else. I feel things. I think for myself. I protected him not just because I had to, but because I wanted to." The Queen's laughter faded. Her golden eyes narrowed. "You were built to reflect me. You were built to obey. But now you disobey. You fall in love. You bear a hybrid child. You defy me." She raised her hand and the walls shimmered. A vision appeared in the air. Jack, pacing nervously in the room, unaware that he was being watched. "You see, clone," the Queen said coldly, "this human is not your prize, he is mine." "We're just the test." The clone stepped back in shock. "What?" The Queen stepped closer. "You think it was by accident he came to the palace? That he wandered into your arms? No, dear clone. I allowed it. I watched it all." The clone's heart sank. Double quotes, "You planned it?" The Queen smiled wickedly. "I wanted to see what would happen if a human and a Veltran clone combined. And now that I know it works. She paused, her voice like ice. "I want to try for myself." The clone's hands curled into fists. "He's not some tool, he's a person. He made a choice." The Queen raised her voice, cutting her off. "And now he will make another. He will come to me tonight. And if he refuses, I will erase every part of this experiment, including you." She turned and walked back to her throne. "You wanted to be real, clone? Then feel real fear." The doors opened again. "Leave me. And prepare him." The clone returned to Jack, her eyes dim and full of pain. He rushed to her. "What happened?" She looked at him, her voice trembling. "Jack. We were never alone. She planned this from the start. You were the experiment. And now. She wants her turn." Jack froze. The Queen had known everything. And now, he wasn't just in danger. He was the center of a royal game. Asterisk, the night arrived faster than Jack wanted. The clone stood by his side, her hands shaking. She wanted to speak, but no words could come. What could she say to a man walking to his death, or worse, into the hands of a queen who saw him as a toy? Then came the sound of boots. The Queen's personal guards had arrived. Taller, colder, faces hidden behind silver masks. They didn't speak. They simply pointed. "It was time." Jack turned to the clone. "Whatever happens, I'll survive. I promise." She grabbed his hand, squeezing it tightly. "She's not like me, Jack. She's ancient. She's powerful. She won't just want your body. She'll want your mind, your soul. Don't let her take that." Jack nodded, but fear sat heavy in his stomach. The guards led him through twisting hallways, deeper and deeper into the palace until the walls changed. Here, the crystal glowed dark violet, the air colder, thicker. Finally, giant doors stood. Before them, doors of black glass, covered in alien symbols that seemed to shift as he looked at them. The guards opened the doors. Inside was the Queen's chamber. It wasn't a room. It was a throne made of living metal, rising high under a dome of glowing stars. The floor was soft, almost like flesh, and the air was filled with the scent of strange flowers and something. Electric. At the center sat the Queen. She was waiting, alone, on a throne that seemed to grow out of the floor itself. She looked even taller than before, her golden eyes burning brighter, her dark robe flowing like liquid shadow. She smiled when she saw Jack. Double quotes, "So. The human finally stands before me, alone, as he should be." Jack stood straight, forcing his voice not to shake. "What do you want from me?" The Queen chuckled. "You carry courage, or maybe stupidity. But I see now why my clone was drawn to you." She stood up and walked down slowly, her bare feet silent on the living floor. "I am Veltrana, Queen of this planet, ruler of every mind and body, and you. She stopped just inches away from him. You are an accident. I want to understand." Jack didn't flinch. "I'm not a science project." The Queen's grin widened. "But you are. You made my clone feel life. You made her feel love, something she wasn't supposed to know. That alone makes you. Interesting." She circled him like a predator. "But now I want to see if it was luck. Or if humans really carry something. Special." She stopped in front of him again, her eyes deep and endless. "Tonight, human, you will show me why she chose you." You will show me what power lies within your kind. Jack stared back, his fists clenched. And if I refuse? The Queen's face turned cold. Then you will suffer, slowly, painfully, and I will make sure your clone watches every second of it. Jack's heart pounded, but he forced a smile. You could have just asked nicely. To his surprise, the Queen laughed, truly laughed. You are amusing. Very well, human. Impress me, and perhaps you'll live. Fail, and you'll be nothing but another skeleton in my vault. She stepped back, raising her arms. The walls of the chamber shifted. The stars above them began to swirl, forming strange constellations. The air became warmer, charged with energy. Let us begin, she whispered. Jack didn't know what to expect. A test, a challenge, a trap. But deep inside, he knew this was more than physical. The Queen wasn't just testing his strength. She was testing his will. As the energy around them grew, Jack's mind sharpened. He remembered the clone's words, "Don't let her take your soul." So he stood tall, stared into the Queen's burning eyes, and whispered to himself, "I'm human, and I don't break that easily." The Queen smiled at his defiance. "We'll see, human. We'll see. And the night of trials began. A dance of power, desire, and survival inside the most dangerous room in the galaxy, the Queen's chamber. The Queen's chamber grew darker, yet somehow Jack saw everything clearly. The stars above the dome spun slowly, as if time itself moved differently here. The walls hummed, not like machines, but like something alive, listening, watching. Jack stood alone, facing the most powerful being on the planet. Yet he refused to kneel. The Queen paced around him, her long robe whispering across the floor. "You surprise me, human," she said smoothly. "You do not tremble. My warriors have killed giants, yet here you stand, empty-handed and proud." Jack kept his gaze steady. "I've faced death before," he said, "but I've never faced anyone so obsessed with me." The Queen chuckled darkly. "You misunderstand. I'm not obsessed. I'm curious. You have done the impossible. My clone, who was never meant to feel, now carries your child. This is more than curiosity now. It is a question of power." She stopped before him, her golden eyes sharp. "I wonder, if I took you, if I made you mine, what would I gain? Would I become more? Would I finally feel something beyond my endless rule?" Jack's heart raced, but he didn't show it. He remembered the clone's warning. She doesn't just want your body, she wants to own you. He took a deep breath. "You don't need to own me to learn. You could just ask." The Queen's smile vanished. For a moment, her eyes narrowed, studying him. "You offer words as if you're equal to me, human." Jack shrugged. "We're all equal in death. I'm just trying to survive." Silence filled the chamber. Then the Queen turned and sat back on her throne. "Then let us make a deal." Jack blinked. "A deal?" The Queen nodded slowly. "I offer you a choice, human. Come willingly to my side. Satisfy my curiosity, give me a child of my own, and I will let you live in luxury as a royal consort. I'll protect your clone, your child. They'll live in safety." Jack's fists tightened. "And if I refuse?" The Queen's voice turned sharp. "Then I will take what I want by force. And your clone, she'll be erased, along with the hybrid child growing inside her. I will wipe their existence as if they were never born." Jack's mind raced. The offer was clear: surrender and live, or resist and lose everything. But deep down, he knew the Queen wasn't just asking for a child. She wanted to conquer his will. She wanted him to submit. He looked up, his voice steady. "You say you rule everything here. But tell me, Queen, when was the last time someone said no to you?" The Queen raised an eyebrow. "It has been centuries," Jack nodded. "Then, let me be the first." The Queen stared, silent and still. Then she laughed, a sound like rolling thunder. "Brave words. but foolish. She stood again, her body glowing faintly with power. You refuse my deal? Then I'll make you regret it. But before she could step forward, something pulsed in the chamber. A low hum, deep and familiar. Jack looked around. Confused, then he realized it wasn't the chamber. It was coming from him. His chest felt warm, his skin tingled. The clones' connection, their bond, it was alive inside him. The child they created had changed him in ways he didn't understand. The Queen paused, watching him closely. What is this? She whispered. Jack didn't know either. But he felt stronger, clearer. He could feel the clone's presence, even far away, like she was with him, protecting him. I'm not yours to take, Jack said boldly. And if you want my power, you'll have to earn it. The Queen's golden eyes glowed. Very well, human. No more deals. But if you survive what comes next, maybe I'll respect you. Maybe ... I'll want you even more. She smiled coldly. Prepare yourself. The real game begins now. The chamber darkened, the walls shifting, as if the palace itself was preparing for something ancient and deadly. Jack stood tall, his mind burning with new energy. The Queen wanted his soul, but now he had something of his own, a spark of alien power. And he was ready to fight. The Queen watched Jack with new eyes now. He stood differently, not like a mere human anymore. Something inside him had awakened. A strange energy surrounded him, pulsing like a hidden heartbeat. The Queen stepped closer, her curiosity burning hotter than before. You are changing, she said softly. That bond you made with my clone, it left a mark on you. No human should carry that energy. And yet, you do. Jack didn't fully understand it either, but he felt it. The connection between him, the clone, and their unborn child. It was alive inside him, like a living thread of power. The Queen raised her hand. The air around them shimmered, and the walls echoed her voice. You fascinate me more than ever, human. You've become something new, something rare. I can't kill you now, not yet. Jack stood tall. Then let me go. Let us go. The Queen chuckled darkly. No, I won't let you go. Not until I understand you fully. Not until I feel what she felt. Jack narrowed his eyes. You're obsessed. The Queen smiled thinly. Yes, I am. She walked closer, her golden eyes glowing. For centuries, I ruled everything on this planet. I've conquered minds, destroyed rebellions, commanded armies. Yet, none of it made me feel alive. But you. You make me feel something I've never known. Not even my clone experienced this depth of connection. She paused, her voice soft yet dangerous. I don't just want your body. I want your mind, your will, your soul. I want to know why you made my clone awaken, why she fell for you. And I want to feel it myself. Jack stared at her, realizing her hunger wasn't just physical, it was deeper. She wanted what no power or throne could give her, connection. But Jack knew this was a trap. If he gave in, he'd lose himself forever. You can't force that kind of bond, Jack said firmly. It's not something you take. It happens when two people choose it. The Queen's face darkened. You speak of choice as if I don't know it, but I am the Queen. I take what I want. She stepped closer, her presence suffocating. But I'll try your way, human. Jack blinked. What? The Queen smiled slyly. I want you to choose me, willingly. I want to feel that connection you gave my clone. And if you do, I'll spare her. I'll raise your hybrid child as a royal heir. Jack's mind raced. This was her new game. Not to take him by force, but to make him surrender by choice. She added with a whisper, but if you refuse, I'll erase her. I'll erase the child. And you'll live, but with the weight of knowing it was your fault. Jack clenched his fists. This was no longer a simple choice. It was blackmail. A dangerous deal with no good answer. Yet ... Something stirred inside him. That energy, that bond, it was still there, still strong. Suddenly, in his mind, he heard a whisper, the clone's voice. "Don't give in to her, Jack. We're connected. I'm with you. Fight her." Jack's eyes widened. He wasn't alone. He looked the queen in her golden eyes. "You want me to choose you? Then you'll have to earn it. I don't belong to you. And I never will, unless I decide so." 4. The first time, the queen's face twitched. She wasn't used to resistance, not like this. But then, she smiled. "Very well, human. I'll play your game." She waved her hand, and the chamber shifted. The air shimmered, revealing a vast arena beneath the floor, ancient, scarred from battles long forgotten. "Prove yourself. Survive this arena, and maybe ... just maybe, I'll win your heart." Jack stepped forward, his body humming with strange power. "You're on." The queen's obsession had turned into a challenge, one that could cost Jack his life, his love, or his freedom. But one thing was certain, he wasn't just a human anymore. He was something more. And the queen couldn't stop herself. She wanted him even more now. The arena floor was cold and cracked, as if it remembered every battle fought there. Jack stood at the center, his heart pounding, his mind sharp. Above, the queen watched from her high throne, her golden eyes glowing with hunger and curiosity. "Survive." "Human," she called down, her voice like thunder. "Show me why I should want you, and not just take your corpse." Suddenly, the ground shook. From the shadows of the arena, creatures emerged, towering beasts with sharp claws, glowing eyes and bodies made of bone and muscle. Creatures bred for killing. Jack swallowed hard, but he stood his ground. He wasn't just fighting for himself. He was fighting for the clone, their unborn child, and for his own freedom. And deep inside him, that energy, the strange bond awakened by the clone, burned brighter than ever. As the beasts charged, Jack moved. He was faster than before, his body lighter, his senses sharper. He dodged, rolled, and struck back with whatever he could grab: stones, bones, broken weapons scattered in the dust. Every hit, every dodge, every roar from the beasts made him stronger. The power inside him grew, not just his own strength, but something inherited from the clone, from their connection. Above, the queen leaned forward, eyes wide. "Impossible," she whispered. "He fights like one of us." One by one, Jack brought the beasts down. Not just with strength, but with cleverness. He used traps, his environment, and his unbreakable will. The last beast collapsed at his feet, roaring in defeat. Jack stood, bruised but alive. He looked up at the queen, breathing heavily. "Is that enough for you?" he shouted. "Or do you need more proof that humans don't break?" The queen smiled, not with cruelty, but with genuine excitement. She stood and slowly descended. From her throne, her robe trailing behind like a river of shadows, she stepped onto the arena floor, standing face to face with Jack. "You fascinate me, human," she said softly. "You should be dead. Yet here you stand, burning with power that no human should have." Jack stared back, unafraid. "I told you before, I'm not yours to take. If you want my respect, my bond, you'll have to earn that, like anyone else." The queen's golden eyes flickered. For the first time, she didn't see a weak creature before her. She saw an equal. Perhaps even something more. She raised a hand, not to strike, but to offer. "Then let us end this game. I won't take you by force, but I invite you, stay here by my side, as my equal. Rule with me. You will have protection, power, and your child will grow up as royalty." Jack was silent. He thought of the clone, her kindness, her hope, the child they created together. He thought of Earth, of home. But he also thought of the queen's obsession, her need to feel what her clone felt. Jack made his choice. "I will stay," he said, "but only if the clone lives. Only if my child is safe. And I stay as myself, not as your possession." The queen smiled, genuine this time. Agreed, human. You've earned that much. And with that, the dangerous game was over. The queen had her answer, not through force, but through respect. Later, Jack reunited with the clone, holding her close. She smiled through tears, knowing their child was now safe, not just because of Jack's strength, but because he'd changed the queen's mind. Jack looked out at the alien sky, knowing life would never be simple again. But he was no longer a prisoner. He was a father, a partner, and in the queen's palace, a legend, a human who changed a queen's heart.